All right, so it's 1 minute after 7. Might as well start the show. My name is Ben Gromyko. Hello, everybody. I'm from InterNACHI. InterNACHI is the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. We are the world's largest organization of residential and commercial property inspectors. And there's Carl.
Hello.
Carl Fowler. Hello, Carl.
Hello.
You sound great. I'm going to turn your microphone off just for the moment. We have George on the other line, and we're waiting for Russell from HomeGauge. So, Carl, I'm going to mute your microphone. It's good to see you. Dominic, I'm going to give you control of the computer if you're ready. Little window should pop up and should say you're ready to go.
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. You still hear an echo, or am I okay?
You sound great.
Okay.
And everyone
That's
says
good.
that they can hear you.
And they're not hearing an echo?
Doesn't
Hopefully.
sound like it. Nope. And we can see your
All right, should we
screen.
go? You can see my screen okay?
Yep, we can.
All right. I guess just let me know when I should get going here.
Sounds
Can I
good.
get going?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Dominic Marisic from Home Inspector Pro. We are just about to celebrate 10 years being in business coming up here in February since I started the software. We have thousands of different home inspectors using our software right now in up to 19 different countries now and 9 different languages. Home Inspector Pro is the only software that natively runs on Windows, Mac, Android, iPhone, and iPad. An important question we get a lot is the internet is not required during the inspection on any of those devices, so the software is not web-based, just like any of the programs that are talking tonight. You don't need the actual internet during the inspection, and that's something important for guys to ask when they're working on their software. One important fact about our software is that we really pride ourselves in our tech support. We have tech support on both coasts. We have guys in California, Washington, and North Carolina, so that way we can cover both time zones. We start our phones at 6 a.m. Pacific time and run until 4 p.m., which is 7 p.m. Eastern. We have live chat on our website, which goes up until 6 p.m. Pacific or 9 Eastern. Both those are Monday through Friday. And then we have our email, which is our help desk. That goes from 9 a.m. in the morning to 3 a.m. Eastern time. So basically, I usually shut down about usually 1 or 2 in the morning, but I tell guys midnight, which is midnight Pacific, and 3 a.m. on the East Coast. That's something that's really important that all the top companies are extremely good at. Our software is very reasonably priced. We've always tried to keep that price point down. The Windows and Mac version of our software is $649. If you get the mobile version, which is the iPhone, iPad, and Android, it makes it $799. InterNACHI members always save $150 off year-round, but right now through Christmas we have our holiday sale, so it's $200 off those prices, which makes it $449 or $599. We also have a no-cost 6 months financing, so you can actually pay that off over 6 months, which a lot, especially new inspectors, appreciate. A special that I kind of highlighted here, I made this today. If you use the coupon code NACHI Seminar through Friday, you'll get $225 off. One thing that I've always thought was really important, our software, you only pay for 1 license per inspector. So if you have 3 computers and you're the only one using those 3 computers, you're only paying once. And that includes if you're Windows and a Mac. We have guys that actually start on a Windows tablet and go home and finish on their Mac, and they've only bought 1 copy of the software. The same thing goes with the mobile version. So our software runs on the iPhone, iPad, and Android, and we're the only one so far that does that on all of those. But you can actually start on one device. Say you have an Android, then tomorrow you break your phone, you can go buy an iPhone. You don't have to buy another license that actually covers you for both. You can actually use both. We have guys that use an iPad and an Android device, and they'll merge the inspection when they're done to a third device. The software includes a lot of templates. The templates are largely based off all the InterNACHI standards and practices. Commercial, residential, mold, radon, septic, pool. We have a Spanish, French, Czech, and English that's in the software. Like I said, we have guys using it in 9 languages, but 4 are included with the software. Fire door, fireplace, fire safety, accessibility, which is based on the accessibility ADA template for NACHI. We have a marine survey, and we have over 24 different templates that guys have shared on the message boards, and those are all included with the software. We do not charge extra for additional templates. All our templates are included at that one cost. That's an important thing. I wanted to kind of go over the program here briefly. The Windows and Mac version of our software look almost identical. I know we only have a few minutes, so I'll kind of just highlight a few things. The software is driven through the menus at the top of the screen. That way it's not using up a lot of navigation space on the side. And the menus are all completely customizable. So I can drop into, say, kitchen, go to dishwasher, and I can see my comments, and I can select my minor issues, hit black, major issues, and hit red. All the colors are customizable. We have guys that completely change them. You can use more colors if you want. That's kind of up to you. If you have multiple inspectors working on a job, you can actually import multiple inspections together into one job. Like I said, that's on mobile devices or on the full version. And then one of the things, oops, I left these in here. I was testing this earlier. One of the things that's one of the big points and reasons that guys use our software is our batch add photos feature. So I can actually come into the software and select my camera card or your folder on your desktop where all your pictures are stored. I'm going to do that right now. And it will actually add every single photo that I took on my inspection directly into the software. And it automatically resizes them and everything as it's doing that. So you can see in here right now, it's going through and adding 240 photos in there. And some of you guys might think that's a lot of photos, but Ben, how many photos did you take on your average inspection?
300-400.
300 to 400, yep. So guys like Ben that are shutterbugs and like taking a ton of photos, that'll obviously come in handy for. Once that's done, there's 2 drop-down boxes above each photo. So one thing that kind of makes the software unique is that rather than taking the photos, rather than going to each section throughout your software and adding the photos one by one, we actually do the opposite, and we bring the section to the photo. So the first drop-down box is all the sections in your report. It's like this photo right here belongs in the grounds page under vegetation, and that's going to put that photo directly in the report. This one right here belongs on the grounds page. Driveway walkway, this one belongs in the exterior area, windows, and I can go through each photo and designate exactly where it appears. Now, of course, if I'm using the mobile version, when I take a picture, it's going to go directly into that section of the software, and I don't have to do this. But the nice thing, if I skip a photo, that photo will be saved directly into the report, but it will not appear on your PDF report for your client. So all photos are saved whether you use them or not, kind of as a way to cover yourself, but they do not actually show up to the client unless you tell them to. Then once I've taken the photos, I can actually go to like my exterior windows, and I can see those photos on the side while I'm actually going through the software. Let me try real quick here. I was going to see if I can share my iPad. I was having to restart this program here real quick. All right, let's see if I can connect. Let me finish while this is working. The mobile sync part of our software, that allows you to upload your report, your templates to the cloud for the client to download them, or sorry, for you to download them onto your mobile device. And then when you're done with that, you're going to upload your inspections from the cloud back to your desktop, your Windows, or your Mac, and then you could finish your inspection directly on there. Looking at a couple of the reports, one of the things that makes our software unique is the way that we structure our reports. Our reports are all PDF based. And we have a really cool stationary feature. This is actually a sample report I received a few days ago from an inspector. And you notice he's added stationary to every page of his report. And this is kind of like the old days, guys used to print on pre-printed paper. you can actually do this digitally. So his 90-day warranty from recall check, his homeowner's network, his 200% guarantee, those actually all show up on the paper, and then the report prints directly on top of that. If you look at, here's another report here that we have. This is one of our inspectors. Everything in the report is completely symmetrical. Everything appears with nice clean lines. So you can see all the photos and everything are all nicely aligned. So all my exterior views here. You can color code your reports. This guy's a military vet, so he's got red, white, and blue throughout his entire report. You notice he's got the red border there. Some of the inspectors will change the colors of the border in every section, so they're completely different. So maybe the plumbing page is blue, but the electrical page is yellow, and the roof page is brown. And that actually makes your report appear much nicer for the clients and the agents, so they can see exactly what it is that what section they're in, and they can flip through everything and see it nicer. Let me try getting my mobile going here again. Just 1 second here, guys. And unfortunately, this is giving me a problem showing off the iPad version. Sorry about that. I can pull up some pictures here real quick. So here's some screenshots that Apple has on their web on iTunes. You can see here the iPad version or iPhone version and Android all looks identical. You see a list of all your sections directly in the report. When you click on each section, it's going to drill down into all the subsections. We've added quite a few different features in there so that you can actually view a summary now of all the photos that you've taken in the report. So that way, when you're done with the client on site, you can actually do a little photo summary and flip through everything. You can take photos that you aren't going to include on the report within the mobile version. That's something we just added. One thing we're actually finishing up right now, we already have it done and we're testing it internally, is the ability to add video directly into the report from the mobile version or from the desktop version. And that'll be released here to everyone shortly. You can see here's an Android device with all the sections here. And I flip down. You can change the colors of the backgrounds, the colors of the fonts of everything in the mobile version. So if you're colorblind or something, you can shift that. One feature that's important, there's a search at the top of mobile. So when you're looking in a section of comments, you can type in a comment, and the comments within that section will automatically filter down to only show you the comments with that word in it. So if you're in an appliance right here and I start typing in something about the dishwasher and I just type in dish, it's only going to show those narratives. Mobile devices are small, so it's hard to obviously see all comments at once. The other thing is a little voice recognition here. You can easily click on the microphone, and then you can type in all the comments that you want, and then you're good to go. So you can talk or voice to text directly in the software. So if you guys, that's probably it because I know my time's running up here. So if you guys need anything else, please let me know.
Awesome. Thanks, Dominic. There are a lot of questions for Dominic, and we'll get to them after everyone presents. Let's see. Carl and George, who goes next? Did we agree to something?
I think Carl was going up second.
All right, Carl.
Doesn't matter. I'll be happy to go second. That's fine.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right. How do I get the screen?
I'm
going
to give it to you right now. So you should see a little window pop up.
Don't see it yet. There we go.
There's just a little bit of a delay. Okay. We see your screen.
Okay, let me see here if I can get back to where I need to go here. Let's see.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay, there we go. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
I probably need to turn this thing off. Get this thing out of here. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is where you would normally start with 3D. And we started 26 years ago, and I guess we were the first commercially available software out there. We're Windows-based. We do not run with iPad. We do, however, run on an Apple Mac. You can run it with Parallels, which is a program that allows Apple computers to run Windows programs. Our Phone 3D app is also Windows compatible, Windows Phone 7 and Phone 8, as well as we have another app that runs on Android and is compatible with our main program. That Phone 3D is a free app, and it interfaces with anybody who happens to have a full version of 3D. We have forums on our website that are free, and also there is a community out there that sells forums to each other for different purposes and needs. Basically, the overview here is we have the 3D is comprised of 4 different sections. You've got the office management, where you might take orders. You've got what you see in here. You've got the report writer here, where you would write the report. You've got a word processor, which is used for ancillary items such as summary pages, contracts, things like that. And then you also have a custom form studio. The custom form studio is where wholesale changes to forms are made, where you have a group of forms and you have the forms in the group in the order that you want them, and then you have forms that you can pull over and drop into that group, and then you can always go into that form and edit those forms in a wholesale sort of a manner, where you can expand the thing and you can actually see for each heading, subheading, and narrative just what the properties are down in the lower portion of the screen. We'll get into each of these in a few minutes, but right now I want to go back and start with office management. Like a typical inspection may come in, I would usually say start a new job, and it would come up with the screens. I've got one already opened, however, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this one and come back to office management. Somebody typically calls up and they say, how much is a home inspection? And so what I will do is I will click onto my inspection request tab right here. And here I have all my services listed, and each service has an underlying cost. And these are all set up here in a customized menu. And so I would ask the prospect, how large is the house? Let's say it's 2,800 square feet. I'd ask them, do they have a pool? Because we have a lot of pools in my area. I'd ask them if they wanted me to schedule a termite inspection at the same time, and I'd tell them about the dangers of radon, and hopefully I'd sell them on that. After I had gotten some information from them about the house, I'd come over here to my invoice tab, and I would click on a button here at the bottom, fill invoice with selected products, and that'd give me my price of $535. Now, at that point in time, you may get a question, oh my goodness, why so much? Well, that's the perfect opening to be able to go in and explain what I'm going to do for each one of these inspections. And to date, I have not yet been able to get through my entire explanation without somebody saying, okay, you're the guy. I would assign an inspector here. I would assign a date right here and a time, of course. Let's say 9 a.m. And I say 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you want to do for that. Once all this information is taken, and let's say the guy has agreed to the job, and I've got other information here I may want to add. For instance, I may find out in questioning him that there's a crawl space. And so if I click yes on this, each one of these answers can be loaded up so that it adds more money to the invoice. I may come over here and fill that invoice again, and you'll see here now it's added a crawl space inspection at $25 additional, so it's $560. I would get my information as far as my seller's agent. I would have my buyer's agent up front here, and it's quite easy to search for these people. You can search for jobs or agents or clients by name or by last name, by company, by address, which is the street address, by the street name, by the city, whatever you want to search by, and they pop right in. Now I just popped in one that I didn't. I just popped in a goofy one here. There you go. Okay, so now once I've got all this information and I've gone ahead and booked this job, I need to go ahead and start the job. And typically what I would do is come over to begin inspection, but right now it's grayed out because I've already got some inspections started. So let me go back here to another one real quick and just open something up here. Here, begin inspection. There's two ways to begin inspections. The first way is on a laptop or a desktop, and here you would use this tab right here to begin the inspection. And when you click on it, you get a list of the different forms that are in your particular computer. I have some weird ones here. The program comes with 3 basic forms, which is residential check style, residential detailed narrative, and a condo form. And so I would just pick whatever form I wanted to use here and click OK, and the form would open up. Now, another way to start a job, if you're mobile, is to come over here to your Cloud 3D Inspection tab and to click here and to say Create and Upload an Inspection. And basically you get the same screen, so you can pick your form set right here, and from that point on it would start uploading to the cloud, and it would upload to the account that was, it started to upload just then. It would upload to the account that was indicated over here on the invoice for that particular inspector. Now I've got a different job here. Let's see here. Let me go back to 9901. Yeah, for this particular inspector that we had in here a minute ago. So it would go to his actual phone. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin an inspection and just see what this looks like. Okay. Actually, I've got one open already here. And we've got several different types of inspections you can do with this program. You could do a checklist inspection, something like this, and you can see here that there are check boxes right here. These we call ratings, and you see you have 3 different ratings at the top here, but you can have as many as 5 different ratings that you can name yourself. And if you decide somewhere along the line that you don't want a checkbox for a particular line, you can just click on the actual subheading and you can just say uncheck it and say OK, and the checkbox goes away. So it gives you a lot of latitude. The other type of inspection that you can start is one that is a narrative inspection. And this one wouldn't have any ratings. You see there's no ratings up here, and as you scroll across and you move along in here, you'll see there's no checkboxes at all. So this is the main screen for report writing. And what do we have here? We have a single scrolling screen that has everything on it from the top to the bottom. And along the top you have tabs, and these tabs you can use to drill down. You can either click like this to go to the page, or you can click and hold it down and come down to where you want to go, and now you're on electrical outlets. Notice your cursor is already in this open box right here, this input line. And so your narratives are represented by the checkboxes and the abbreviations over here at the right. And these menus can be switched around left and right however you want them, by the way. But so as you scroll over these, I'm not clicking anything. I'm just simply moving my mouse over them. And as I move my mouse over, you'll see at the lower right a preview of what that comment is. So as you use this thing, you get more and more used to what those comments are, and you really don't read them. You just know what the abbreviation stands for, and you click it and go. So I would click this, damaged outlets, and then I would right-click while my cursor's in this sidebar to go to the next line. So it's quite quick to go up and down through this thing. Anything with the little plus right here, that means there's another choice underneath it. So here, this is an example of a placeholder used with what we call grouping, where I can put multiple items, these blue items here. Let's say this guy here, ground fault interrupters should be installed, let's say in the kitchen, the bathroom, the unfinished basement, and the garage. And then when I go to the next line, you'll notice that what this does up here is it actually adds commas between each one of our selections, and then also puts an and I don't have this set up quite right. I shouldn't have periods at the end of each one of these little selections here, but it puts commas and an and in, so it completes the sentence for you. Now, down here at the lower portion of the screen, we have here some more tabs. And this tab at the far left would be for the cover image, where you would actually select your cover image and you pop it in. And then that would print on your cover page when you get ready to print your report. You have thumbnails. These are the pictures that you would normally take during the inspection with your camera, and you would put a card into the computer and you'd be able to read these directly. You have the current line. The current line is what line is actually activated up here. And I sort of like to use this because you can change the size of these little input lines here. You can make them larger or you can make them smaller but making them smaller, it makes it easier to be able to see where you've gone, where you've been, and where you're going as far as in the report. So I like just being able to look at one place right here. Form reference is another way to be able to reference stuff in reports where you have multiple items that may all be the same. Attachments is useful when we get ready to print the report, because we might want to attach certain things like let's see here, finalize inspection, like a summary. We may want to attach a summary. So when this is clicked, the summary comes in and builds based on what items that you have up here that you've marked as belonging to a summary. And anywhere along here on any one of these input lines, you can just click the summary and click whatever you want it to be. That's a summary 1, which is action items at this point. And of course, you can name these any way you want to. And you can have as many as 8 different summaries. I've just got 3 named. I feel like if you're doing 8 summaries, you're actually rewriting the report. So the last thing left here on this screen is over here at the left side. This is the actions menu, and all this is what we used to call a macro. The list of macros, and a macro is a button that you program to actually do more than one thing, to say complete the function that it would normally take maybe 5 or 6 clicks to do. So over here, one of the things that I can do with this actions menu, and by the way, there's a button at the bottom many people miss called the Customize My Actions, where it has a wizard where you can actually go through there and it helps you. It tells you exactly what to do as you go through. But here what I've done is I've set up some recommendations. So if I click here, I've got the 3 basic recommendations that inspectors need at the end of any comment that they make. It's either call a contractor, monitor, and call a contractor in the future, or have the sellers demonstrate it. So anywhere in the report, if I need call a contractor, I click here and it says call a licensed contractor for further evaluation and repair replacement as needed. If I go to the laundry area and I come here to the entry door and I need that same comment, I can click here and there it is. So this just sort of acts as like a global menu. So I don't have to list this over and over and over here in these narratives. As far as thumbnails, pictures, the pictures are down below. You just double click on one, it pops in as a thumbnail. You can actually come in here and you've got quite a number of different editing things, your typical arrows and things like that. You can change colors, you can change transparencies. You actually have a magnifying glass here you can pull out and show people, something a little bit of more interest to them. You can resize. You've got captions here. You can position it to the left or the right or below your text. You can change the the brightness and you can crop. You can do all this kind of stuff. It's full featured as far as editing the photos. And that's pretty much the report writer screen right there. Now, how am I doing on time?
You're just about out, I would say. You got something else?
Okay.
One more important thing?
Well, what I wanted, this is pretty much the basics of 3D.
Yep.
Now there's other things like over here, if you're in the field and you want to say add a comment while you're out there and you have just a thought, you can always click here. You can say add a comment here, or you can modify a comment. If by some chance you've typed a comment in here and you think it's a great comment, you can highlight that comment, come over here and say add, and it's already brought the comment in. All you have to do is give it an abbreviation like new and tell it where you want it, like I want it right there. Click OK, and there it is. Now it's here. So it's that easy. Any time that you have let's say another bathroom, you've got here we've got 3 bathrooms. So let's say I needed another bathroom. I could click into the 3rd bathroom anywhere in here, and I could just come up here to add copy and say copy the current heading. And I would say bathroom number 4, or I might say the blue bathroom. Oops, I just hit that. Sorry. Copy the current heading. Let's say blue bathroom. Click OK. And it now creates another whole section for me, another whole bath. So there's no need to have any extra rooms or anything. You can always add them on the fly. Same thing with adding subheadings. And this is the way adding a recall check item works as well. So once you've set up recall check, you can add the items anywhere in the report writer.
Cool.
I don't want to take up too much of my time, so that's probably about all I'm going to be able to talk about. But I would say that if you have any interest in our mobile stuff, that you go over to our website. And on the main page, there is a video that you'll see right here that shows you how this thing is organized and how it works. And it's pretty simple to use. And there's a poll over on our website. And we've got some results for the last 6 months. 80% of the inspectors that have filled up this poll said they've saved more than 30 minutes per inspection just using the mobile stuff. So I think the mobile stuff is working quite well. Thank you very much, and you could always welcome to visit the website, and I'll be hanging around for questions later.
Thanks, Carl. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so next, George. George, why don't you tell us about your software?
Okay, Ben, thanks. Hey, Ben, can you mute the other presenters to minimize my echo?
Sure.
Make sure they're, thanks, appreciate it.
And you sound
not
good.
that we don't want to hear what they want to say, but I've just got a little bit of echo. All right, I'm going to talk mainly about HomeTrex, and I'm just going to very briefly, just maybe 2 minutes or so on one of my other reports. Just a little bit of background on bestinspectors.net. I've been in business a little over 21 years, got involved with home inspection software in 1999, so about 14 years with home inspection software. Before that, it was pretty much exclusively commercial. And HomeTrex, which we're going to be looking at tonight, is equally capable in commercial. And as far as other software that I have, pretty much you can think of it something that needs to be inspected, a building, an airplane, a boat, we've got you covered. But tonight we're going to focus on home inspections, obviously. The one thing that really sets our software apart, I think, probably more than anything else, is that it was designed by inspectors and inspectors who have been inspecting since long before computers were part of the industry. So what we try to do is carry over some of the things that folks are comfortable with, and their work practices and so on, but incorporating the newest technology. And to that end, with only one real notable exception, our software is all what you see is what you get. When I say our software too, I want to point out that we have the largest assortment of inspection software anywhere. Literally, we have what you need, a dozen or so different reporting systems on multiple platforms. We do cover all 4 major platforms. We do have some inspection software that is portable. You can start on an Android, work on your iPad a little bit, go over to your Mac, and then finish up the same report on your Windows PC if you wanted to. So the HomeTrex and the others, basically it's what you see is what you get. You're working in the actual report. You're not clicking on different menus and this and that and wondering how your report's going to assemble and how it's going to look. You have complete control, and the only real notable exception is setting up the job. We have the job setup form. You see I have some dummy information in here, the job information, the client, agents, obviously optional information. And there's a help, and incidentally this help is actually an open text field that you can put notes to yourself that you don't necessarily want your customer to see. I'm going to cancel this setup because I've already set this job up, and I'm going to come over to our cover page, just give you an example of what a cover page looks like. With the controls, you'll notice we have a control panel across the top of the screen. The controls are laid out for the most part left to right as you encounter them, starting with the job setup. You'll see you have inspection details, the form that we just looked at, inspector details, which you'd only have to enter in typically once, select pages. This is where you can select from any of the pages. Those that have a check mark and are highlighted in blue are turned on or currently added to this report. Those that are not checked are not. You'll see that there are some templates for creating entirely new pages and so on. So I'm not going to do anything with that right now. As I said, I already have a job sort of set up. We have a job order. Again, this is where what you see is what you get. Information was pulled from that form. I'll just jump back to the cover here. The job information, inspector information. If I go back to my job order form, a lot of that information is plugged in for you, but you can put your pricing. All of the fields through the entire report are adjustable. You see we have drop downs, we have different ways that we can populate different fields, but most of this is pre-filled in. Same with the invoice. You'll see that all that information was carried over to your invoice, so you can print that out. You can also use that as a receipt. Just change the word invoice to receipt. Your inspection agreement, you can completely customize your inspection agreement, but it does have, if you look here, I hope everyone has a good enough view of this, it automatically populates with the inspector information, the address of the property, the client name, the company name, and here you can see that it has the total amount. In this case was $840 because we added a bunch of add-ons onto it. Here is just one example of a standard of practice. Of course, we're showing the InterNACHI standard of practice here. A general information page. You'll notice that, just jump back to the cover page one more time. We have a picture of the house that we're inspecting on the cover. We also can put a picture of the house here, or you can put text in this field if you prefer. Most of this information, of course, is already pre-populated for you. And again, all of these fields you can adjust, and pretty much through the entire report. Double click to put a check mark, right click to put an X. And that's pretty much, again, you're working directly in the report. What you see is what you get. Here's a page that I've started to fill out a little bit. I put a little bit of information here. I put a couple of pictures. You see I have a variety of options for arrows and circles and so on, various annotation. We have a feature that I'm not going to be able to get into any kind of detail, but you'll see that this text is in red. You can put predefined narratives and so on in your library that will always automatically, regardless of where you insert them in your report, you can have them appear in one of three standard colors. Black, obviously, for everything, but you also have red, green, and blue. So if I type, for example, this says trip hazard. If I just come over here anywhere and type trip hazard, of course I have to spell it correctly, you'll see that it's automatically in red. So that's a little bit more advanced feature that we won't get into too much detail. The actual filling out of the report, again, double left click to put a check, right click to put an X. We have a feature called the Total Control Summary. You can choose to have deficiencies automatically put into your summary or not. That can be turned off and on. And in the interest of time, I won't demonstrate that. I would like to say that there is a video that is on the Inspector Outlet website under the listing of home treks that you can watch. It's 7 minutes long and it walks you through some of these. Also in the video library at bestinspectors.net, or if you go to bestinspectors.tv, that's our YouTube channel, we have videos on individual features and how they work. Inserting pictures is a piece of cake. You'll see that you don't have to think about where your pictures go. You have a left and right option, just as we have here. You also have a left, middle, right if you want to do 3 across. So they're going to be a little bit smaller, but they'll fit 3 across. You have an option if you want to do a completely narrative report. You can actually turn off all your check boxes, and of course makes the page wider. I'll just demonstrate to put a picture in. We'll just grab a picture. I'll just grab something at random. You see it sizes and positions it for you automatically. And I'll just grab a second picture just to show you. And you can put an unlimited number of pictures. You can add as many rows as you want, and so on. When you've finished with a section, you've got some extra white space here. Let's say you see we've allocated plenty of space here, and these can all be expanded, these sections. There's no limit to how many rows or how many pictures and so on. But when you're all done, you just want to clean things up. You come over here to this compact feature, and you'll see it takes out some of the extra white space and just kind of tidies things up a little bit. The next section here, you see we have different ways to navigate. We have tabs at the bottom of our screen. You'll see that this is a section that's not been filled in at all. If I come over here to my tools, you'll see that I have some options here to create a table of contents. You've got some tools for residential and commercial. show or hide contextual tabs, and I just want to demonstrate that quickly because that's an important one. Again, I'll just jump back to the cover for this. If I click on the photo, you see nothing happens here, but let's say I need to edit that photo. If I come over to my tools and say show contextual tabs, now when I click on the photo, it brings up picture tools. If I needed to adjust that picture, I can make corrections. Gives me a little thumbnail preview. I can lighten it, change the contrast, brightness, and so on. And if I wanted to get a little bit fancy, like on my cover, I could put a little border or soft edge in this case, and so on. The another key thing about bestinspectors.net software in general, Hometrex in particular, question that I often get is, what do your reports look like? My response is whatever you want it to look like. The level of customization is virtually unlimited. If you can imagine it, you can basically build a template. And I'll just give you a quick example of something that sometimes inspectors do. I just highlighted some rows here. I can generate checkboxes. I can label those. These are fully functional as I generate them. I can put checkboxes over here. So if you wanted to go back to an older checklist style report, and as I mentioned a few minutes ago, you can have completely narrative as well. The how you put information in the, into the fields. This is real important. We've got the classical method of using a drop-down, pull from the library, pretty straightforward, obviously. But we also have a couple of other options, and if I don't want to jump around too much and get everybody confused or dizzy here. But here's a section that I filled in using the library assembly wizard. Here I have access to my library where I can pull multiple comments simultaneously. Actually, I'll come down to a new, I'll come over here, go to a new field, go to the electrical section here. So I can come over to my library assembly wizard, and I can grab, I'm just going to grab some things randomly here, as many comments as I want to grab. I'm going to make these bulleted comments, so I just check bulleted, and I'll say add that, and add that, and we'll add that. And then when I've selected all my comments, I just say insert, and they're all in there. Now, if I want those, I have the auto summary feature turned on right now, so I'm going to say that I've inspected those. But if I don't want them to go into the summary, I put a check mark. If I do want them to go into the summary, I put an X, and it'll be a red X, and it'll also take it to the summary, and I just select where I want it to go. We can go over to the summary, and we can verify that those items, in fact, went into the summary. You select where those comments go in the summary. You can come back to your summary later and format it if you want. You can pre-format your summaries too in a template, so you have headings and things of that nature if you want to.
All right, George.
Going back, yes.
If you could wrap up in a moment here. Russell's
sure.
Biting at the.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Let me just, if I could just switch over, I'm going to just show the capstone just very briefly.
Sure.
For those who want a completely different platform, this is another one, completely expandable. Unlimited number of pictures can go into your reports, just as you do in any of these reports and so on. Multiple summaries available. Just an option, just another example of one of the other software options that we have. Anyway, thanks to everyone for the opportunity to go over the software, and I'll be happy to answer questions later. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, George. Thank you very much. Up next is Russell. And Russell, I'm going to give you control of the screen. You should see a little window pop up.
Okay. Let me get ready here. Great. Well, I didn't know we're going to have a webcam opportunity. Next time I'll bring my webcam. But I packed 7 minutes full, so let's get started.
Sure.
Hey everyone, I'm Russell Buchanan with HomeGauge, and I want to thank you for coming to this little webinar, and let's start this whirlwind tour. So I'm going to bring up some sample reports, or reports, different looks. So just give you an idea that any of these reports can be done in different colors. This one's kind of a grid look. If you look over here, we've got little tables that, and your pictures, you know, your pictures are great. Your comments and your pictures stay together. A clean looking report. Over here we've got a one as well. It's the same, it's just a blue one, except it's a narrative look. So it's not actually the same. This is a grid look. So here we don't have any kind of grid or lines. We just got words, narrative. This one is an InterNACHI logo, and it also has a really cool logo on the background. These are available as well, and here's one for Canada InterNACHI, so some of you guys over there in Canada can use a good looking logo there on the back of your report. Just giving you an idea of what the reports can look like. These are cover pages in HTML, which means you literally can take your cover page and make it just like a web page, anything you want. The report itself is in CSS or cascading style sheets, and all that means is that if you get a guy or a girl who knows websites, they can make this report format look any way you want, arranged however you want. One thing that's really cool that I want to show you is that HomeGauge can have expanding pictures in their report. So when you click on them, they expand in high definition. Also, you can have video in your report. This is great for marketing reasons as well as pointing out defects. It also eliminates the need to type a lot. If you've got a lot of information, you could put it in a video and not have to type it. Having expanding pictures like this is really cool, so they can zoom in and see either the defect or try to. And here, you can make out the telltale line of a settlement crack. So expanding pictures is out to a cartridge. So it's a cartridge, and that's how you would replace it. It looks like it was replaced not too long ago. The arrows pointing down. Able to do little instructional videos, gives your report life, an interactive video. And I removed the cover just because I see some stain here. There's some rust up here as well. Currently it's not wet. I used a moisture meter. So video in your report is cool. You can have expanding pictures, video in your report. Over here on my left, I have a floating content bar that'll jog out so your buyers and agents can get to, let's say, heating and cooling, they can get to it right away. So a floating content bar helps in their navigation. Really cool looking reports, and let's go look at your services here real quick. Here, we store all your reports for 5 years. We become your off-site backup. You can set viewing permission. You can manage your report. You can set up a contract agreement to get signed online, or you can force pay or force view before, force them to sign before they view, or to pay before they be able to get the report. Sending out your notification, it'll automatically timestamp it. Here you can get viewing permissions, and you can change the address where it actually sends them to your website to pick up the report. So once you send out the email, you'll have these time release messaging letters or marketing emails that trigger based upon your templates, whether it's 2 days and you want to maybe, this one says, thank you, customer. The second one, if you have some way that you want them to rate you, your service, 1 year home warranty, we got ADT offer, different things that you can make yourself. Let's go look at the report. Here, we're just going to go to customer, first name, last name, email address. You can make new customers over here. Here you can put the address of the inspection. Miscellaneous, you can attach anything you want to the report, Word documents or HTML. You can also go to forms here and get to the Citizens Florida, pest control forms. Select template. You've got different templates here in the commercial. We've got ASTM, ADA, but we've also got an InterNACHI folder for your InterNACHI commercial and the InterNACHI residential, which we'll pick up now. You open it up, your sections are on your left. Here are your inspection items, and here are your column headers. You can double click to fill them out quickly. You can change your column headers really easy by coming up here to edit column headers, and now you can make them your column headers. Your pictures, they line up on the right side of the screen unless you're using the HomeGauge companion for Android or iPhone. If you are, your pictures come in automatically, and then you just come up here to this Find and Answer and change it to Edit All Photos, and it will take you literally through each and every photo. Here, your pictures come out if you want. You can multiple select and drop them in like this, and it'll actually remember the order. You can drop them in where you need to put something on them. For instance, if you just put an arrow on them like this, you can hit them, and as fast as you can put them in, they'll just pop up. And so we'll just do one more here. I'll go line out and T for text, touch the screen, I can type something in or go to my little magic wand here and put in damaged or whatever. You can create these little call out words yourself and drop it in. Okay, and let's see, line drawings. Line drawings are in here as well. They just work like a picture. Anybody's line drawings will work. Your customer and agent tab here. So many things we've got we don't have time to go over. File a merge report into this report so multiple inspectors can merge. You can use the cloud service here and send reports back and forth using our cloud. We have an automatic backup feature. You'll never lose anything again as long as you're backing up everything to the cloud. And we've also got a opportunity to do a reinspection. So you can select this, click reinspection, and then your report will actually turn into a reinspection report where everything's excluded except for your summary items. And when you get to a summary item, if this one was going to fail, you can just come over here, hit the little wheel, and pass or fail. You can make up your own pass or fail comments here and turn them red, make them kind of different colors and all that good stuff. So automatically include a comment or report, automatically attach a document or a picture or a line drawing to a comment. Many things you can do in HomeGage. And I think my time is up. So I do have a special for you guys that attended the webinar. Please come to InterNACHIGauge.com, and I'll put a special up tomorrow only for any of you guys that are interested, and you'll be able to get it through the INACHI store, and I'll give you a special bonus for buying. Okay, thank you very much, and I'm going to turn this back to you, Ben, unless you got any questions.
Thanks, Russell. Thank you very much.
That
was fast. So thanks, Russell, very much. And I see by our time we have about 7 minutes left. I don't want to hold everybody all night long. I have a ton of really good questions. Don't worry. I'm going to send all those questions to the 4 presenters tonight so that they can answer them individually. But let me go through a few of them. And Russell, while your microphone is still hot, how many years have you been a software inspection software company?
We incorporated in 2001. So it took us about 2.5 years to get it ready for sale. And we started selling it a little bit before 2001, but yeah, since then.
And Russell, do you have staff? Do you have full-time staff? Is it just you?
Yeah, so I've got 10 employees. We've got five girls that are dedicated to answering the phone Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time. The rest of us will pick up too, but these 5 girls are dedicated to answering the phone. They know the software. Actually, some of them know it better than me. So yeah, we're here to help, and you can go to our website, get our phone numbers, but when you download our software and try it out, call our support, try our support out.
And support is a big question. Dominic, if you can hear me, how fast can I ask someone at Home Inspector Pro a question and get an answer? What if I need you real quick? Do you have a good turnaround time? Are you there available?
Yeah, you can call us. Like I said, we have phones, we have live chat, and we have email. Our average, we have a ticket system that tracks everything. If you ask an email via the help desk, which is like emails, the average question is answered within under 10 minutes. If you jump on live chat, that's obviously live, and that's all day long, and you get immediate responses. And then if you call us, we have 7 people in the office. For some reason, they're all on the phone. We call everyone back, whether you leave a voicemail or not. So we get back to you immediately, or talk to you immediately and answer your questions.
George, does
Yes.
your software work on both Mac and PC? A lot of attendees are asking, what does it work on and what do I need?
Well, you can run HomeTrex on a Mac using Parallels, or if you wanted to run Capstone will run on a Mac under the Mac OS 10 right up through Mavericks.
And do you do you have, we saw some very fast, a feature that enters a lot of pictures into the report software. Do you have a feature like that that handles a lot of pictures for a fellow like me, an inspector like me, that takes 300 or 400 pictures?
Yeah, you're going to have to decide where the pictures go or the order in which they go. So the way the software is structured is you grab your picture, you can grab it from anywhere. You can grab it direct from camera, you can transfer them to your PC first if you prefer, and then just put them in place. It's pretty fast. Inserting photos is fast because it's not only is it sizing the photo for you, it's also positioning the picture for you in the report as you go.
Thank you. And Carl, everyone's asking about templates, especially a Texas template. Do you have templates that your customers can use without creating them, especially a Texas based template?
Right. There's a Trek template over on our website under the bonus downloads page under our user community tab. There's a number of other forms over there as well. Windstorm or wind, the insurance forms and wind mitigation forms, and there's commercial inspection forms and condo inspection forms and mobile home inspection forms. A lot of forms over there that are all, basically no charge. And then there's also another number of forms that are out there that are sold privately by other inspectors who have developed these forms, taken a lot of time to develop them, and of course they sell them for a couple $100, and a lot of times that'll give you a running start on maybe doing some type of new service or something like commercial or radon or whatever. But yeah, they're out there.
And kind of like templates, is the inspection software filled with narratives already, or is it empty and I got to fill mine in, or do you help me with my narrative?
No, all form sets come with narratives already in there, but practically speaking, I've always found that the only way you can really increase your speed in doing a report is to own the forms. And when I say own the forms, that means you should have gone through there and put your own words in there and had a part in designing those forms, because it seems to imprint them in your brain so that when you start using them, you just go a lot faster. You just know what's going on a lot easier than using somebody else's wording.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be customization in every program, no matter which one you get.
Thank you. Russell, can you help me figure out what these reports convert into? Does my client, can they get a PDF emailed to them? Do they have to log in and they're reading a web-based report? Because we saw those videos that are embedded.
Yes. So you can either use our services, and when you, in the very beginning, when you saw those reports, they were in a report online as if the buyer was looking at them. So at the top right, I just didn't have enough time. I failed to mention, but if you put this up for them to view again, at the top right, there's a little PDF icon, and that's what your buyer and agent will click on to be able to save it off as a PDF. There's also a little summary icon that'll pull the summary straight out of your report for real estate agents, whatever, when they sign in. But that PDF will obviously work just like anybody else's PDF. The video won't. The video will have a little watermark on there that says, there was a video here. So obviously, if you don't want to use your services, you can email it as a PDF, but if you give our services a try, you'll get the impact and the marketing value of expanding picture, video, and all that you saw.
And it does work on mobile devices, correct? Obviously,
right. So yes, it works on an Android device now. It's been working on Android, and you can go to the Google Play Store and download it right now and look at it, a full version for free. It's a very attractive interface, very liquid, very fluid. We are coming out with the iPhone, iPad. We're already taking pre-purchases. We expect that to be out by the end of January, if not sooner. And we've been, crying wolf, yelling wolf for almost a year now with that thing. But we'll be as happy as our users about that. So, end of January or sooner.
Cool. Thanks, Russell. Dominic, what would you suggest with taking pictures? You can use a mobile device with Home Spector Pro too, right? Do you take a picture? Help me understand. Do you take a picture with the iPhone, or do you suggest having a separate camera and uploading pictures from a chip or
Yeah,
something?
it's a really good. That's a really good question. So we have a lot of guys that are using the iPhones and iPads to take pictures. Problem is, most of those devices still don't have flash. Android devices do all have flash, so a lot of guys use Android. The iPhone does take beautiful pictures, so a lot of the guys that use the iPhones will still have a separate camera for the attic and the crawl space that they'll pull out. There is a device called the Samsung Galaxy Camera, and also a new phone, the Samsung S4 Zoom, that has a zoom lens on it, which none of the other devices, obviously iPads or iPhones or Android devices have. So the Samsung Galaxy camera has a 21 times zoom, which is better than most normal home inspector cameras. And the S4, I believe, has a 7 or 8 times zoom on there. So with those, you can actually have a mobile device that's your phone and actually take pictures with the zoom and everything else, and it's directly dropped in your software. And then the nice thing is, even if you have to pull out your normal camera because you're using an iPhone, at the end you would just merge those photos together and they automatically would add them all in. So it doesn't matter if you use 2 phone devices, yours is good.
And what about this? I got a couple questions about the cloud. Are there additional fees? I know everyone said something about how much this costs and the fees involved in order to purchase the software. But are there other additional fees that we haven't thought about or haven't talked about?
Yeah, so
cloud-based stuff.
If you're just using the Windows and Mac version, there's no fee. You're generating your PDF reports and then you're emailing it off. There is a cloud option. Our software is the only one where you can upload your report. If you're hosting a website with us, it'll actually show the report directly on your website, so the client agent will leave it. So there's a cloud option that you can use with the full version, but it's not required. If you have the mobile version, the cloud's required, and that's $20 a month. The reason is we store all the files for 5 years. We run our cloud on Amazon's, and Apple does not allow a direct data transfer, so it's impossible to hook up a cable to convert your inspections to your desktop. So we have to go to the cloud, and we use Amazon's cloud, and we have to pay them, thousands a month for all their servers, and every time someone uploads a file or downloads a file, we have to pay them as well. So since we store all that information for 5 years, we basically just pass the cost on. And if you have multiple inspectors, obviously there's a discount though.
Thank you. Hey, George, so your inspection software, it has a summary sheet, a summary page.
Yes. Right.
Can you print that? Like when I was an inspector, I did a summary page as fast as I possibly can for my client. I either printed it on site or I sent it as a PDF, and then I took my time writing the full report.
Right.
Do you have that option where I could send out a summary as quick as I can?
Sure. You can, for that matter, you notice that we have the summary, but we also have the inspection agreement, job order. Any of those can be sent out immediately as a PDF.
Cool. Carl, I didn't ask, how many years have you been in business? And is there a 1-800 Ask Carl question phone number that I can call in case I'm having problems with my inspection software?
We don't have an 800 number for tech support, but of course we prefer to do it by email because we're able to provide a written answer that then the customer can refer back to, maybe perhaps another day when he has time to do whatever he needs to do. We're always available, however, and by calling our regular tech support number, and we have a ticketing system as well, and we have 2 tech support technicians online all the time, so they're here available, 5 days a week, basically. Anything that's not in those 5 days, we go ahead and take the email. And we do check emails during the weekend and other times, so if there's somebody's having a big catastrophe, we can get back to them. But that typically doesn't really happen. We've been around for 26 years. We incorporated in 1987, and really it wasn't, when we started it, this software was invented to save me, because I had too much business. I was a home inspector doing $250,000 worth a year myself, and I was about to kill myself staying up too many nights and writing reports, and I never intended to sell the software until people started shoving money at me and saying, we want a copy, and it just took off from there. And so there's been a lot of input by inspectors over the last 26 years. And of course, I left the business after 20 years of doing inspections. I thought I'd had enough.
Thanks, Carl. Well, I don't like to keep people over their bedtime. So I've got 3 kids at home to put to bed. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to leave everybody to their own. I want to thank you very much for attending this webinar. The recording is going to be available in probably 24 hours. Go to nachi.org/webinar, nachi.org/webinar, and that's where we'll have the recording and some other free downloads and other information in case you missed the beginning of it. And I want to thank our 4 presenters, Dominic, Carl, George, and Russell. Thank you very much. It was really a really fun time. And I'm going to be sending you all of the questions that we could not get to tonight. We have many, many questions. And I want to thank you all very much and have a wonderful time. And inspectors, stay safe out there. Bye now.